Hello everyone, I'm Ziyun from BT Art Salon. Welcome back to Island Hopping Conference, East Asia Forum. This is the second session. Today, we are very honored to have these wonderful panelists to join us. First of all, Ade Darmawan is the member of Indonesia art group ruangrupa. He will give us a picture of how the art field responds to the COVID crisis in Indonesia. And here we have Louis Ho. He's an experienced independent curator. In today's presentation, he will introduce an illuminating exhibition named Flat as a response to the 2020 pandemic in Singapore. And we have Tessa Maria Song with us as well. She's a curator and educator based in Manila. According to her observation in the Philippines, she brings out an intriguing question. What modes of thinking and imagining the future can we now engage? And finally, we have Su Huiyu, a visual artist and also the co-founder of BT Art Salon. He will share with his experience participating in the Rotterdam International Film Festival last year with Taiwanese artist Zheng Xianyu. So welcome everyone, and now I'll hand over to our host today.
Hello everyone. It's very pleasure to be here and also to have all the nice participants here today. Then I think for the video art salon start from 2017. Then we have initiated these island hopping projects at the first time. Then during the time we are all thinking because this island hopping the strategy that's from the U.S. Army there in the World War II, and due to this important era, after the new Cold War coming up, and nowadays we are all focused in these pandemic eras. So we thought for the video artists, we also thought that's a very, very new era, or that's very strange things. It's kind of like getting back to the 100 years ago, 1920s or 1930s. The whole world become like a new mapping and the new shifting. Then as an artist or art collective, what we can do and what we can focus it. So started from 2017, we the island hopping project is kind of like a reverse back to the World War II, the American Army's the strategies. Then we first step we went to the Philippines and at the Bagus Museum, and we have our first show, and also we invited the curator from Philippines come to Taiwan. Then because of this year, then all of us we couldn't traveling for a while. So we are kindly I think in these years, everybody and all the humankind, we all face to this difficulty time. Then we have to learn the new skill, like this kind of online forum or meeting or online class. So due to the these kind of critical moments, how the humankind we can reaction or face to this new pandemic era. I think that will be the today's main topic and main issues. So so as the artist or collective, what we can rethink or remind the society or the world what is our responsibility or what we can reaction to this. So it's very honored today. We have four outstanding presenters from Southeast Asia and including Taiwan. So please welcome our first presenter, Ade Darmawan from Indonesia, but while he's in Castle in Berlin right now. So Ade, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hello, thank you everyone. Yeah, thank you for the invitation and also chances also to speak here to share some of the observation and also experience. I think this is really a challenging times, which is for us. I think it's really yeah, we need to rethink a lot of aspects of our life relations and also obviously art, like how we're practicing it, and more further as well institution. I think, yeah, during the pandemic, I really remember that when we closed down our space in Good School, ruangrupa is part of the collective called Good School now, together with two other initiatives called Serum and Grafisuruhara in Jakarta. We have our space. It's a public space. It's a school actually that we run together. It's educational learning platform for some time, and then we need to close it down, and then we start to think how we should do with the resources that we have. First, actually, it's really very interesting how this pandemic, how this situation that we cannot reach even our friends and also further the public. It really makes us think even more about this relationship, about caring, about being connected, about also the function of the whole things, all the role of the whole things that what we do, including even the space and the resources. So this is much things to do also with about the resources, how we can share, and then also how we can actually think about our resources. So we do our resourcing, mapping resource kind of session, and then start to think also what strategy can be done, what's lacking, and also what we need, and also what people need. This is also make me think also maybe this is for the first time that we really think about how to be a local as well. Yes, we work a lot with our surroundings, but this crisis really make us think about what does that mean to be in a certain locality. Not also a context, cultural context, what is abstract, what is very much intangible, but what is it also being physically or architecturally, spatially in a certain place? What about our neighbors and so on? I think this is also really resonant to other initiative and in many places in Indonesia, which I will also show you some other strategies or struggles even, and then also models that we speculate during this moment. I will show you later on, and this is also really think about not only the sustainability, because we never have this crisis as I mean the crisis actually is really interesting because we always feel also we always in crisis. So this crisis makes many practices actually really become even more in a vulnerable situation. Yeah, I will share you some of the strategies and models that I found super interesting, and also how it can be also being speculation of a certain a different model of relation, and also even economic model. I hope you can see my screen. Wait.
Yes, we can see the screen clearly. Thank
Okay.
you.
Is it good enough, big enough? Sorry, this is my old PowerPoint.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
It's become hourless and pointless right now. So I will start with this group from Bukit Tinggi from West Sumatra, who you can read also, of course. They have a different setting and also really working with the resources surrounding them. So what they do is actually collecting and farming the sunflowers starting from their backyard, and then also from the neighborhood. So this is really an example that how it really react also what it is there in a certain local, and also trying to figure it out in a very simple way how to find the economic model, and then also try to share that resources with others. This is another thing actually that they do as well. So they make they call it illustration for donation. So because there is a lot of, I mean, in Indonesia there's so many people that base their economic model on the streets, and during the crisis, with the lockdown and many things, it's really a big challenge for a lot of people. It's really changed their economy situation, because they cannot come out and really circulate their economy on the street. So this is also one of the things that sort of like the initiative for the collective becomes sort of a mediation from become the middle or medium towards the donation, or towards the other resources, to distribute these other resources to others that need it. So they use their service on their ability in making illustration, for example, for people, and then they donate this that money for marginal sectors, which is mainly actually street vendors. This is MES 56. Also very interesting, quite a experience collective photography from Yogyakarta, MES 56, which is really basically working a lot with the people surrounding as well. And they have this program, Solidarity, called Stocking Room. It's like this is again also kind of like a donation activities that they have, which is coming from their ongoing selling artworks and also merchandise. This is also very interesting, and then some donation as well. They initiate dapur umum, which is in English will be like public kitchen. So it's like a survival program in solidarity, and then also to share some resources, which is mainly food, not only for the artists but also for the people around in the neighborhood. This is also very interesting approach or strategy, because many of the neighbors is actually cannot access also, especially in the city. You know, when mainly the most of the stocks or most of the resources actually coming from the rural area, and then during the crisis is actually really difficult, or really crisis in terms of food, and also the access towards really a basic needs in the home. This is a hysteria from Semarang, Central Java. They're really having a very intense project in the area, and like it's actually in the middle of the city, but it's, you know, it's same like Jakarta or many urban area in Indonesia. It's actually built by the rural imagination. So there's always a kampung, there's always like a village in the urban area as well, and they work in this area a lot, dealing and struggles with the issue of the moving of the places get affected.
Recording in progress.
And getting really struggle with urban planning of the city government and so on. So they really have a very interesting project in that place to speak out, or to voicing the
recording stopped.
The voicing of what's happened there, really what happened in the village or in the kampung. So they're creating and managing a project, for example, with the villagers, and then also creating a village infographic for what's really going on there, together with the villagers, and then so people can really have more access or more possible access towards what's really going on in the village. This is Pasir Putih, from West Nusa Tenggara. There's a lot of big, somehow, a movement from during the crisis. I mentioned about urban and rural relationship, and I think also it makes people think that how vulnerable urban is during the pandemic, because most of the resources is actually coming from the rural area. So there is some place that I know there's a lot of a big people are moving from urban to rural, because that's where the resources are, and people less moving. So the virus is actually less impacted, and the resources is there. So the place like Pasir Putih, for example, in Nusa Tenggara, they can have even more. I call it use their resources even more better than before, and then they can help others even more, actually, because for the first time we see how vulnerable and how precarious is the urban society in connection with the resources and daily basis resources. So they have a coffee production plantation, and then they also exchange that with and are also dealing with the awareness of wearing a mask in their surroundings and so on. So this is it's been also spread towards many places as well with the networking, which is I will talk also a little bit about that. And this is Jatiwangi Art Factory from West Java. They call it they create a hit and run program. So just like quick out and then go back and so on, like really estafetting the resources and also the helps of the nation that they have. And then also again the rural, it's really more dealing with the resources much better actually. So if you see with the other initiative from more like a bigger city, they have to deal with the donation and then so their role is become sort of like mediation or redistributing the resources, while from the rural it's actually they have their own resources so they can help immediately. This is a good school, Jakarta. Yeah, we have space, and then also we have some networks and a little bit of technology. So what we do is actually making this mask and also massively distributed to friends at home. And so we make those at home and then distribute it to other medics, hospitals, which is actually in the beginning of pandemic is really needed because lack of stocks and so on. So we work also with other initiatives in different islands and searching for hospitals, a small medical center that need it, and then we work with them in different islands and then distribute this support of this is actually homemade or like a handmade mask for medics, and then also the hazmat suit is actually quite looks it looks done like professionally. Yes, because we have several sewing machine. And then some friends are pretty good in that, so we produce this also together with other artists that actually develop the design and so on, including the mask as well. This is again from East Nusa Tenggara. Again, if you see, it's a really different approach with the resources. That have been used and redistribute really onto the economic model, and then also really using the or maximizing the resources that they have, and then work together with the planters and so on, with the farmers. So really based on the charity, and then after that distributes the donation. This is Siku Ruang Terpadu from Makassar, South Sulawesi, another island in the east of part of Indonesia. So what they do is actually a lot with making the feasibilities of access of what they have, especially knowledge, and then so they make a lot of an online library, books, and also free access to their archive and so on. So this is another approach that really on the basis of knowledge and experience, because in the same time people are also struggle with a certain lockdown, and then they cannot I mean, like some people, they have to continue their research, their learning or education and so on. So this is also like a different role that some of the initiatives are actually taking. So yeah, it's that several, actually it's much more many, because we recently also, not only because of the pandemic, but actually pandemic really accelerate our research and our action on calling for lumbung. Lumbung is our concept also for Documenta, which is a collective resource sharing model, which is actually lumbung means rice barn, but this idea is coming from our cosmology, but I think in many cultures and many places this practice has actually been also exists and in many places in the world, maybe forgotten. So we try to develop the idea of these collective resources governing as well with other collectives, and our research has been finalized and already quite collecting so many archive and resources from maybe around like 50 more initiatives in Indonesia, different islands, and this is actually that I show you now is really some part of it. Thank you so much for the attention. I hope I'm not taking too long. Thank you, and yeah, looking forward for further discussion. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thanks to Ade bring us, these really wonderful and really admiring presentations. Yeah, and I think the arts activism is really important during this era, because through your presentations we can see different perspectives of how the artists or art collective they use their resource and to do the reaction for this pandemic, and how to get the sustainability and to survivor, or even for struggling. But I think we all have different cases, and then we can surely know we can learning from each others.